I want to get back to work.
Walk On By, Wednesday at 10:20 on BBC One.
With Comic Relief Night on Friday, the first of 3 special programmes now on BBC One following the Sporting Noses celebrity football team on tour in Africa.
Right, here we go. Nice, hey, easy. Nice. How many miles?
It had to be the strangest and best way to spend a birthday. Here I was, David Essex, waking at dawn in Africa to find myself playing for one of the most bizarre football teams ever assembled.
I have, it's not just because it's his birthday, I have elected David to be the skipper.
And so it was that this bizarre football team got an equally bizarre captain on the first day of what looked like being the most improbable football tour ever.
This is where it all began, not in the barren landscape of the Sahel, but at Bisham Abbey in the beautiful English countryside. 2 days before we were due to leave for Africa, some of us were getting together for our first training session on the pitch normally used by the England team.
Right then, come on.
Aren't we supposed to do a lot of this?
Yeah, some of that.
Do a bit of this.
Bit of this. And they do this a lot,
They do that a lot, yeah. From one end of the pitch to the other.
And it was on this hallowed turf that the England squad prepared for Euro 96.
I have to say I've played on this before for the purposes of our video, so the England pitch means nothing to me. You won't impress me like that. Me and the England team. Arthritis.
We had been invited by Comic Relief to form a team called Sporting Noses and to go on a tour of Africa. They wanted us to see 2 sides of life there. The side which is full of hardships that need our help, and the side that is pure joy, the spirit of Africa that overwhelms everyone who goes there and which is perfectly expressed in their passion for football. But first we had to find out whether we'd ever make it as a football team.
If we make our way to the centre.
Former Queen's Park Rangers player Mickey Ambrose put us through our paces.
1, good. 2.
And it wasn't a pretty sight.
Hands on your boots. Hands on your bums. Don't touch that ball, whatever you do. Yeah.
Patrick Robinson was just recovering from an operation on his knee. He'd probably have to play in goal during the tour.
And again. Yeah. 1.
Susan Tully wouldn't be able to join us until a few days into the trip, but she'd still be there in time for the last 2 crucial games.
I can feel a distinct imbalance in this team already.
Then we were introduced to former Arsenal, Tottenham and Northern Ireland manager Terry Neal, the man who was to have the dubious honour of being our player-manager.
You've all got the same coloured jersey on so you can recognise each other. The art is, when you've got the ball, to try and pass it to someone in a similar or exactly the same jersey. And just to give you a clue, a bit of help, the opposition will be wearing a different colour. Am I going too quickly?
As we lined up for a practice match, the laughter quickly evaporated and a certain nervousness crept in. Football's a serious business, and our footballing abilities were about to be given their first real test. Unfortunately, it looked like a test we were going to fail dismally.
Every time Johnny's on his own, there's no one following up behind. And considering their defence is pretty tight, we've got to have a second wave coming behind him to pick balls up for all the rest of them.
Practicalities of it are, we haven't got the legs to do it. So the slower our build-up, the more time it gives those people to get up there with them. Very good chance.
Well, you know, it's only 1-0.
I think we're playing badly, that's the problem. And they're playing
First
better.
time we've all been together.
What we really need to do is start playing well. Yeah.
You ever thought of being a manager?
No, I think I've got the makings.
Tragically, as the game wore on, things only got worse. The final score was 4-1, and suddenly we faced the appalling prospect that we might go all the way to Africa and return without winning a single match. Interesting.
Once we get to know each other and get to know where people are and all that, it'll get easier. But first game, difficult. You don't quite know who's supposed to be where. Yes. To the next one. Yeah.
Just 48 hours after the Great Bisham disaster, we were landing in Burkina Faso in West Africa. Our tour consisted of 4 matches spanning 2 countries and 1,000 miles. The plan was to start by playing against a village team on a strip of bare earth with sticks for goals, and to end up on the lush grass of the National Stadium in Ghana, against the best team in the country. Well, the best women's team in the country, to be precise. Of the 14 of us, 10 were Africa virgins, who'd also never been to Africa before. So the idea was to take a couple of days to acclimatise. As we landed, most of us had absolutely no idea what to expect, though I personally was quietly rather smug that I had the foresight to bring my gold credit card and tuxedo. So this was it. We'd reached the point of no return, and it was called Gorum Gorum, a place that was so good they named it twice. Robert Walters is the world champion at ball juggling, or keepy-uppy as it's known to school children and Nick Hancock. He's a man who once kept a football in the air for 19 hours at a stretch. Sadly, however, it soon became apparent that some time was going to be required to adapt to the new and challenging conditions. If you time this effort carefully, you'll find it to be some way short of his personal best at 27 seconds. Every 4-wheel drive vehicle in town had been requisitioned to take the weary travellers to their lodgings. Anyone who hoped their first night in Africa was going to be spent beneath a mosquito-infested sky outside a mud hut on the edge of the Sahara Desert wasn't going to be disappointed. Anyone like me, who had hoped for a 5-star hotel with jacuzzi and Corby trouser press, was.
I think this is a bridal dress I've got here. You done this before, Angus? I think anyone who's watching me will have no doubt whatsoever that I've never ever attempted to do anything faintly similar before, or indeed succeeded. Although, having said that, where did you get your hook from?
See, I've got it now. There's a safety because if one hook falls, you've got another hook.
Do we have anyone in charge of hooks?
A hook, please, for Angus.
Shambolic production.
The next morning, we had to decide who would work their socks off filming in temperatures of 102 degrees and who would get to spend the day shopping. Guess who drew the short straws? So while the other dozen stayed behind in the care of John Leslie and a wobbly camcorder, Angus and I went in search of life in the desert.
We don't see you again?
See this again. Keys under the mat.
You can have my croquet set.
Thank you.
It seemed like an ideal opportunity for Nick and me to reminisce about old times on the comedy circuit and to engage in amusing banter about supporting rival teams Stoke City and Manchester United. On the other hand, maybe not.
It's a peculiar thing that you can come to somewhere this far away from the UK, this remote, and yet if you're willing to drive a few hours across desert, you'll find a project supported by Comic Relief. Something paid for by some bizarre event Boy Scouts did in Hull, or by a few red noses people bought in Edinburgh. It's a surreal but rather satisfying thought. After only a couple of hours, we were already suffering in the heat. Laughable, really, when you learn that the people here have managed to survive over 20 years of almost continuous drought. The extent of that drought became appallingly clear when our convoy of vehicles came to a halt. We had stopped in the middle of what was supposed to be a huge lake. This is one of the area's largest watering holes, and yet I've managed to walk about half a mile without even getting my feet wet. A few hours driving here and you really get a sense of the size of the problem. Meanwhile, back at base, the rest of the team were facing up to the rather easier reality of their first morning in Africa.
This is a hat which I bought in Australia, and I thought I'll never wear this hat, and here I am, and it doesn't look at all out of place.
Keep still, don't move your head.
Vous êtes prêts? Okay. I think he said, wasn't he in Stardust?
Yeah. Speaking of which, welcome to the party, David.
Thank you very much, thank you. Oh, you're the cameraman.
So where's the captain been?
Me, I've been having a shower.
Ah.
Yeah, kind of thing with a bucket.
Frank, have you got a different England shirt for every day?
Yeah. I'm going to work my way. I'll be wearing one of those Admiral ones from the 70s that Kevin Keegan used to wear tomorrow, right up to the present day.
That's pretty sad, isn't it?
It's nice, isn't it? Have you got a Scotland shirt?
I don't think I should have brought it.
Even
here,
here,
I joke.
think you'd get the piss took out of you in a Scotland shirt.
I've got a Scotland
People
cap.
saying, oh, just qualifying rounds. Oh, goalkeeper. Oh.
The cluster of huts stretching out before us in the desert were part of a village called Bangwanaji. By now, we'd been filled in on the depth of this water problem. No water, no crops, no cash, no money to send kids to school. Not a great situation. It turned out that in Bangwanaji there were now only 4 children out of the village's population of 500 people whose parents can still afford to send them to school. I have a kind of educated look about me, so they naturally sought me out for a chat.
Quel sujet? Qu'est-ce que vous voulez lire et écrire et...
Lire nos leçons si on a quitté à l'école. On lit nos leçons, on apprend à connaître quelque chose. Plus.
Et vous apprenez le français?
Oui.
Évidemment.
Most people in the village only speak the local language, but these 4 could actually converse in French, the official language of Burkina Faso. Fortunately, I spoke French fluently. Unfortunately, that was about 20 years ago.
Et qu'est-ce que vous voulez faire après l'école, quand vous êtes adulte?
On veut être des médecins,
Ouais.
on veut être des journalistes, on veut être on veut être des commandants, on veut tout être.
Et vous?
On veut être des docteurs, on veut être des maîtres.
Des maîtres à l'école?
Just because they live in a remote part of the world doesn't stop these boys having dreams like any of us. But whether or not they'll ever have the chance to make those dreams come true obviously depends on whether their families can survive and make a living. And that all comes back to water again. Which is where Comic Relief comes in. We travelled all this way to show you that this is one of the pumps your red-nosed nonsense has actually paid for. Unfortunately, as luck would have it, on the day we came to visit, it was bust.
Alors, qu'est-ce qu'il y a qui ne marche pas ici?
Ici, la pompe a la fontaine cassée. La fontaine, c'est ça qu'on appelle la fontaine. C'est cassé. Alors, en pompant, c'est cassé.
Alors, ça marche pas.
Ça ne marche pas. Ouais. Ça ne marche pas.
As you can imagine, to a village like this one, the well is essential. But a well's no use to anyone if it isn't working. So what Comic Relief have done is trained a member of each village to be able to maintain the well from day to day. If a more fundamental breakdown occurs, Comic Relief have trained engineers in each area who have access to parts and tools. So the villagers know if their well breaks down, it'll be fixed within 2 days, which, when you consider the reputation of a lot of British plumbers, isn't a bad record at all.
And we are just the same underneath the shadows of the sun. And we are just the same, no more, no less than anyone. And all God's little children are beautiful and pure. And you're as good as all of them. Of this you can be sure.
I think actually when you come out here, you suddenly realise that football is this sort of universal language, and it does break down barriers in a very quick way. When we went out to a village near Gorham, it's quite tricky sort of talking to them for the first 5-10 minutes. You didn't quite know sort of what to talk about or how much to pry. And immediately the football came out. Of course, everyone started playing with each other, and it broke down all the sort of barriers that there had been, and you suddenly realise that yes, it does work as a sort of universal language.
So what have you just done, Carl?
Oh, I bought her.
You bought something?
Yes, I bought. I bought a cushion.
Very nice.
Yeah, I bought that.
How much?
150,000.
What?
I don't know what they were, but there was 150,000. You nicked it. I didn't nick it.
What is this, Brits on holiday or what? Carrier bag, right? Are you going to swap it?
What this?
The carrier bag.
I'm selling this. What's the?
There's a lot of interest in Frank's hat.
Yeah.
Is there?
My hat.
I started to riot.
Yeah. They've actually now building a temple to my house, and I'm going to have to leave it here, and it actually will rule a large part of this territory on its own.
Over there we see the unusual pants tree. I don't know if you've spotted that before. Pants grow on that.
Yeah, Victor Hugo and the pants tree.
Very nice too.
7 million.
How much?
7,000.
7,000. Did you haggle him?
I did haggle. He started at 10. I told him I was from South London, and he changed his mind very quickly.
I can imagine. This is Ainsley working out how to get on a camel and not come off. But he's been brave because he's the first one to have a go. Who's backed out?
I'm certainly. Oh, I have. I'm definitely not going on the camel. Come and have a look how beautiful he is. Come here, look. Come here. Isn't that the prettiest thing you've ever seen? He's a handsome chap, isn't he, Mike? Oh my God.
Nothing wrong with him.
Shortly after Nick and I returned to the compound, we were joined by the rest of the guys in a state of fevered excitement. It seemed they had ended their day with an impromptu kickabout with a bunch of 9-year-old kids. Sad, really.
3-1.
No, it was only 2-1.
Drafty boy, scorer. Tell us about the goal, David.
Well,
Available for interviews.
Our first victory, 2-1. Very difficult surface, and it's been brilliant because it's a birthday goal. It's a first goal.
It was a treat. It was the
wonderful.
business.
Excellent cross.
Exactly.
Whack straight into goal.
Straight in the net. No
Good
problem
win with
at all
the boys.
here.
Good win
I
with
was
the
playing with the
boys.
second goal.
Shows
It was
that the
technically
manager's system is working.
Technically an own goal.
We're on the march with Terry's army. We're on our way to Ouagadougou. We're gonna go and really wake up when we win the Africa Cup.
Passing on and make it for full team.
What gonna do?
Are we over the moon?
I've had the privilege really to come to Africa before, so I've seen Africa. And this trip has been especially enjoyable in a way because whenever I've come before, it's been by myself or with one other person. So I'm here with, well, about 27, 30 people, many of whom have never seen Africa. So it's a bit like as if I don't know if you've ever tried to sell your own house and you show people around. You see things for the first time again. You see things with fresh eyes, and it's been interesting to see their reaction to this sort of juxtaposition of hardship and warmth of spirit that the African people have.
Go to Chris.
When we went to Tintaburo, there were lots of these kids standing around, and all of them had malnutrition. They were all ill children, and Robbie, Walter, started doing Keepy Uppy, and their faces just kind of flooded with joy at the sight of this. And I found that deeply moving, and I think what I found deeply moving about it was football and its ability to reach out and touch people with whom you have nothing in common except for football. You know, I was pleased by the sight of Robbie doing that ball juggling, and so were they, and we come from different planets. And I think then I just thought, well, you know, I've seen these people have this amount of joy, and what I'd like is for them to have a bit more joy and to sustain it, you know. And the only way of sustaining that is to give them money, really, so they can have footballs and food, you know, the two things that you need.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear David. Happy birthday to you.
Well, your goal. Yeah, well, I'm very.
Don't let me go.
We got love that's gonna stop the show. Don't you know?
With your love, light shining, every cloud's got a silver lining. So hold me close, don't let me go. Da 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 da.
Fellas, thanks very much. And tonight was our first victory, and I hope we go forward and beat everybody we play. And it's a very nice thought. It's a wonderful card, and it's nice to score a goal on my birthday in Africa. Thanks very much.
Despite the birthday celebrations, we were in for an early night. In the morning, we were due to fly west to our first proper match.
Which nobody can deny.
When we awoke, it wasn't to the blazing sun we had already come to expect, but to a dust storm so dense we could hardly see. Moments later, it was followed by torrential rain.
Johnny D.
There was no way our plane would be able to land and meet us. We were stuck in Goram Goram, watching the rain, with no means of getting to our match. But as the desert rapidly filled with water, we were all happy enough. It may not have suited our plans too well, but for the people who lived here, this was an answer to their prayers.
Well, I've been in Africa 2 days now. Never been to Africa before, knew nothing about Africa, and wasn't that keen to come, really, to be honest. And they took us around yesterday. We went to a few little villages around here, which grow tiny, green, spindly crops in the driest, sandy soil you've ever seen, next to the thinnest, boniest cattle. And they really needed it to rain, or they didn't know what. They might even, die or something. And it's the first time I really realised what praying for rain was all about. And then today, it just sort of happened, and then this happened. And the desert now is not, it's not there's life in the desert. It's like everything looks a bit greener and feels a bit fresher, and it's like it was like dead and now it's alive. And maybe they'll be okay now, so thank God for that. I mean, literally, thank God that it rained. It's ruined our football match, possibly, but who gives a shit?
That's when the rain comes down. That's when the rain comes down.
Burkina Faso is one of the poorest countries in the world. And we go to the villages there and meet some of the people who have pretty little to live for, and pretty tiny numbers of comforts in their lives, really, compared to us. And just the optimism they have and sort of resilience is quite astonishing. You would expect them to be, well, sort of depressed and downtrodden, but there's none of it, really.
Yeah, what does it make? That's when the day goes
Happily, the Sporting Noses did eventually escape the rain-swept desert and set off to play football in temperatures of over 100 degrees. Perfect conditions if you've been brought up in the home counties. So in the next film, you'll see our
Mothers
Oh, did you see Victoria and Emma?
and daughters.
Mum, you are my mother. You should know.
Mothers.
He was a naughty little boy. He was.
And sons.
It's like she's in there with me, fighting the fight with me.
Spicy secrets.
I don't actually talk to her about sex.
Secret lives.
He just took my hand and bidding me goodbye from this world.
Omnibus celebrates Mother's Day in 15 minutes on BBC One.
She's codenamed Jennifer 8. Andy Garcia and Uma Thurman star in a mystery thriller over on BBC Two now.
In the northwest of this country, there has lain hidden for 30 years a shocking and terrible secret. Tomorrow night, Panorama goes back in time to uncover the previously untold story of the biggest residential childcare scandal in British history. The magnitude of the abuse of the boys as young as 7 has caused the police to track down and interview thousands of people and uncover hundreds of victims. Panorama, tomorrow, 9:30, BBC One.